Mining, what's going on? Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we're going to have a look at what's going on around in the mining industry. So we're going to have a look at the coal mines, what's going on in coal, we're going to have a look at iron ore, and we're going to have a look at all the base metals and gold, everything that's going into a battery. So first off, I just want to say congratulations to Dylan that got himself a job with Aries as a nipper. He did the DIY training package and just let us know in this video here that he got himself a job, so well done. So let's have a look at the coal price to start with. The coal price is $131 US a tonne, which makes it about $200 Australian a tonne. Now the issue with that is at this price, a lot of these mines in Australia all over the country become a little bit iffy, and you can see this story about BHP wanting to offload some of their coal mines in Queensland, so they're looking to get rid of Blackwater and a couple of the other ones that are part of their Mitsubishi alliance in Queensland. The problem that you've got with coal at the moment is that all the coal-fired power plants that reopened in the last 18 months, the majority of them have got a coal mine sitting next to them. And everybody that's got one in Germany or Portugal or Spain or wherever it is around the world that are firing up their coal-fired power plants, they've got a coal mine pretty close to it that they can use to source the coal from. So that's what people are doing around the world. That's why the slumps happened in coal prices. Just be careful when you're going into those traineeships on coal mines. They just tend to be paying not a lot of money, and they're not always a full-time job at the end. So sometimes it's only 12 months fixed term, and so they might only pay you $75,000 a year for a 2-in-1 roster, which turns out to be, $25 an hour. So the next one that we want to look at is iron ore, and all this happening in iron ore up here, especially in the big mines, FMG, Rio and Roy Hill and BHP. They've all got the same thing going for them. They're all going autonomous, and they're all either there or trying to very hard. And the whole idea is they claim that it's a safety thing, but it really is, it's a wage reduction thing. So you can come over to this one, which is on the Financial Review as well, and this is about Roy Hill and Gina's, their 96 conventional haul trucks to driverless from the end of March. So from the end of this month, they're all going to be driverless. And it's the same thing going to happen on all these mines up here, because they're all strip mines, so the ore body's really close to the surface. That means that, the jobs that are going will be technician jobs and a few other. There'll be lots of jobs down in Perth clicking buttons, making everything go, but they're not going to pay big money for those jobs. And the reason that they're not going to pay big money for them is because it was the whole point of doing the driverless, was to bring down the wage bill. So if they don't want to pay you they don't want to pay you 120 to 150,000 to be on site to drive the truck, they're not going to pay you that sort of money to click a mouse in Perth. So most people are getting offered around that $80,000 mark to do the Perth jobs. Some of the technician jobs that you're jumping into as well, that they're in that middle stage where you're not quite a fitter, but you're not an operator either. You're in that technician, so you do 12 months worth of training. And the big thing about those jobs is, when you look at them for the iron ore industry, is that you need to understand where else are you going to get a job with those skills. And if it's only in iron ore and you've only got the big 3 companies to choose from, then chances are that they're going to use that as a way to keep the wages down. One of the things that I like about hard rock is that there's so many mines around the country, and there's so many different companies that are doing it, that at the moment, because there's a big boom going on, especially in the underground side of things, if we have a look at our prices, you can see that gold's $2,700 or over $2,700 an ounce. Nickels, it's over $36,000 a tonne, and copper's up there at over $13,000 a tonne as well. And at those prices, everybody's making lots and lots of money out of it. So just be aware that there is, there's a difference between the industries, depending on where you end up, depends on how long your career is going to be, and it's all driven by overseas factors, unfortunately. There's not a lot that you can do here in Australia to change things. It's just what's going on in the world at the moment. And the big thing that's going on in the world at the moment is the batteries for all the electrified equipment that's being manufactured around the world to save the planet. That's where the growth is going to be in the in all these mines around the country. Whereas on the coal mines in the eastern states, there's not going to be, unfortunately, because of what's going on around in the world, a lot of these coal mines are going to shut down again in 12 to 18 months' time, unless there's a turnaround, unless for some reason, the other mines can't supply, but the writing's pretty much on the wall, and that's why BHP is looking to move their position. So whenever a big company like BHP decides to do that, and they've done that with some of their mines in New South Wales before that I've covered on the channel last year, it is what it is. It's and if you're trying to get into mining and you're trying to work out what's going on, have a look at what's going on in the world around the place to work out where you're best positioned. And at the moment, I think you're best positioned in one of the hard rock mines around the country that are digging out the base metals, or one of the gold mines. And a lot of those mines are hard rock underground, and you can use the sponsors training, the DIY, the Intro to Underground Mining. It only costs $495. It teaches you how the mine works from top to bottom, and there's full instructions on how to redo your resume and interview prep and all that sort of stuff in the bottom of the Australian Mining Seminar. If you want some help, have a look at the Work Ready package. With that one, you get a shift boss to mentor you. They get your resume redone for you. It becomes their job to make sure that you've understood the mining information, so you can hold that conversation with the foreman or the project manager in the interview that's going to get you the job, and come up with a plan of where and how you're going to try and get in. But there's lots of stuff all over the country. You just have to type underground into Seek and you will see all the jobs come up. There's well over 3,000 jobs, and if you have a look at the first page of this, there's a number of truck jobs. So there's a truck job there for underground, there's a truck job there for underground, another one for underground there, another one here. There's lots all over the place. You just got to give the employers what they want, somebody that knows how their mine works. So I hope you found that helpful on what's going on in mining at the moment. It is pretty simple to get yourself a job if you've educate yourself to what's happening in the industry. It's not that hard. A lot of people don't, though, unfortunately. They just get a little bit of advice off a mate, and then they try and wing it and go from there. So if you've got any questions, send them through. I hope you found that interesting. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. Thanks.